game one to the second round have been really good in my opinion so far. So let's talk about it. First of all, let's start with the best game: Wolves Spurs. I the Wolves just keep doing it. I don't understand how this keeps happening. Anthony Edwards, absolutely ridiculous player to play on that injury and play as well as he did. I think he had three pointers in this game. We only had two. Okay, well I remember. Oh wait, he had two. They must have changed one of them, one of his threes to a two, because I know he had the one over Wemby. He had one in the first half where he kind of snatched back and shot it, and he had the one where he pump faked. I don't know. He was making everything. He had that fadeaway that was cold, straight swish. He was awesome. Defensively, was he that good? No. His rebounding wasn't that good. Still had some flaws, but for his injury, it's like you certainly take that if you're him. And then Mike Conley. Mike Conley's my favorite player, so let me just talk about Mike Conley for a second. Mike Conley was super impactful, super great game, and I'm super happy I got to witness this because I know Mike Conley doesn't have much time left in this league, and I know Mike Conley, he doesn't always get the amount of minutes, so I appreciate these games, and for him to hit four threes, one of them a super big time three, and a couple other ones were just like keeping them in the game, keeping them close. I thought his passing and playmaking was really good. He was a plus 13 on the game, second best on the Timberwolves. Naz Reid was the only one better, and we'll get to Naz Reid. I thought Mike Conley defensively was pretty solid, and this makes me really happy as a Mike Conley fan that he's going to be this impactful and this important and be able to start playoff games and really impact winning, especially with a team like the Spurs. The thing that actually worked for Minnesota better than I thought, and why I think Mike Conley could end up having a decent series, is with Wembanyama. Sometimes they'll play drop coverage with him, and it got Mike Conley multiple open looks. He even missed a couple that were open looks. But I mean, it's like if you could get Ant in the pick and roll, Jaden McDaniels in the pick and roll, Naz Reid in the pick and roll, and they're playing drop, like they're gonna get good shots. I know Naz Reid in the pick and roll is weird. Even Julius Randle in the pick and roll. Like if you get these guys in the pick and roll, I think they're able to get good shots. Now a lot of the time they're going downhill, and that results in Wemby having 12 blocks. But I mean overall, I actually thought Minnesota got a lot of better shots than I was initially expecting. Now, yeah, Wemby, I did predict that Minnesota was going to drive a ton and shoot a ton of shots at the basket, and Wemby's going to get a ton of blocks. Could I have predicted 12? No, I definitely did not think he would get 12 blocks in a game and set a playoff record, but it's not surprising to me that he got a ton of blocks the way Minnesota plays. I will say, Terrence Shannon Jr., anytime Luke Cornett comes in the game, they just need to get Terrence Shannon Jr. the ball and let him work, bro. Every time. If Luke Cornett was in the game, Terrence Shannon was just attacking and scoring. For whatever reason, Terrence Shannon and these last couple of games, he just gets by everyone, and if it's not Wemby down there, he scores. He scores. And that's what I'm saying. If there's ever a time where Luke Cornett checks in and I don't see Terrence Shannon Jr. on the floor, I'm going to be pretty upset because he needs to be on the floor at all times. And even defensively, I thought he looked decent. One thing I will say, I think Chris Finch is an amazing coach, and I think he coached the series really well. But I will say this. At the end of the game, they ended with McDaniels, Gobert, Ant, Randall, and Shannon, I'm pretty sure was the lineup. Maybe it was Reed instead of Gobert. I know there was no Mike Conley, and this is all I'm going to say. For one, Mike Conley, as small as he is, he's going to box out, and he's going to work insanely hard to rebound. And two, you have Anthony Edwards as the inbound passer where they throw that turnover to Julius Randle. Why not just put Mike Conley in the game and take Terrence Shannon Jr.? At that point, they're just going to foul you. Why do you need Terrence Shannon Jr. and you're not giving him the ball anyway? Just have Mike's in the corner. Have Mike pass the ball in. Mike doesn't turn it over like that. I thought that was pretty careless by Chris Finch to not have Mike Conley in the game at the end when you're up by 4 points with 20-something seconds left, like 28 seconds left, and you don't have Mike Conley inbounding the ball. Or in for free throw purposes, Mike Conley is like a 90% free throw shooter. Didn't make much sense to me whatsoever. Because at that point, like even if your argument is the defensive end, because Mike Conley's pretty small, and sometimes he can get bodied. At that point, dude, they're just gonna foul you, and you're gonna be up. And even if they don't foul you, then there's 4 seconds left. You're up 4. Like I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me how Mike Conley's not in the game. They end up turning it over. Ant turns it over. Julius doesn't get back on defense. They score. Even the possessions before that, Julius Randle and Ant weren't rebounding. They were letting Julian Champagnie get a bunch of offensive rebounds and score. If they would have lost this game, I would have been really, really upset at Chris Finch, and that's why I have to say this because I mean, you have to be better in those situations. You have to be smarter if you're Chris Finch, as good of a coach as he is. You have to be better in those situations, and they almost lost. If Julian Champagnie hits that three, there's nothing positive to say about this. They lost. They completely sold the game. They had it in their hands. And if you have Mike Conley in the game, I promise that doesn't happen. So that's all I'm going to say with that. Chris Finch, still a good coach, but I think that was a mistake. Rudy Gobert, I thought was spectacular, even though it's kind of hard to play him. Crazy amount because Wemby can just like not guard him and just roam and get 12 blocks in a game. And then Julius Randle and Terrence Shannon Jr. and even like Jaden McDaniels, it's harder for them to do stuff. Naz Reid, it's harder for them to do stuff because Rudy Gobert's in. But I thought when he was in, he played really good. I thought defensively he was really good, like he has been this entire playoff series. And he sets some of the best screens in the game, rebounds insanely well, has been smart with his passes. So Rudy Gobert's been just awesome overall. Naz Reid, I thought Naz Reid played fantastic. I know his stat line isn't necessarily insane, 12, 9, 1-1, but I thought the way he played was good. He hit big-time shots. He really defended well, and that's why he's plus 15. If you can play Rudy, Naz, and Julius, the only problem with that lineup is dependent on if Naz Reid plays defense or not. And if Naz Reid plays defense and isn't getting cooked by his man, that lineup is insane. It's just so much force, so much size, and size wins. So it's Naz Reid's going to guard. He's always going to be a plus, and if you can be a plus to the game, then I'm going to talk good about you. So Naz Reid, I remember at the beginning of last series, I said this might not be a Naz Reid series, and he started proving me wrong, and he's proven me wrong again with the San Antonio series. Now, with San Antonio, you need your best players to make more shots. Victor Wembanyama, I mean, he had 12 blocks. I still think he was good. It's hard to say he wasn't good because defensively he's so impactful, but wasn't making any shots. Not necessarily his fault all the way because, I think some of the shots he was shooting were just not to to best utilize Victor Wembanyama. Like, I think coaching got to be better. Dylan Harper was absolutely amazing. De'Aaron Fox, hard to watch, really bad game from him. It's weird because I remember watching him on the Kings, and I always thought he had this dog to him and this tough shot making to him, and I just don't see that on San Antonio for some reason. A minus 13, him and Keldon Johnson, even though I thought Keldon Johnson was solid. Defensively he wasn't great, but offensively I thought he was pretty good. Julian Champagnie I thought was really good. I know he missed the game winner, but kept him in the game, and it was really good. Stephon Castle fouled out, but I thought he had a good game. I don't know if I mentioned Dylan Harper, but Dylan Harper's a dog. He's going to be a star, I think, in the NBA. Was really good. Devin Vassell was pretty solid, I thought, but you need your best players to make shots. I think defensively they were good. They did what they needed to defensively, but when your best player shoots 5 for 17 and your arguably second best player shoots 5 for 14, hard to even say that he's better than Stephon Castle at this point, but arguably second best player shoots 5 for 14. It's tough. It's tough to win like that. They're going to be better. They're going to shoot better. And defensively, they keep playing this good. They'll win. I'm not too worried about San Antonio, but again, I think this could be an interesting series. I've said this all along, and Minnesota takes game 1 in San Antonio. That's impressive. If Victor Wembanyama is going to not shoot well, then I think Minnesota wins. They need Wembanyama to play like the MVP candidate that he is. Moving on. This game I don't have to talk about much. Knicks absolutely steamroll the 76ers. Jalen Brunson was absolutely unguardable. They can't put anyone on him to stop him. He was making so many tough shots. It seemed like he made every single shot that he shot. OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, I thought they were all really good. They all shot efficiently. OG Anunoby missed one shot the entire game. The Knicks look absolutely dominant right now. They look unbeatable right now from these last 2 games. I mean, they've won by a combined 100 points in the last 2 games, it feels like. Not to say the series is over, but yeah, not a great game. Not a good Embiid game whatsoever. He shot 3 for 11 from the field. I thought there were some opportunities where he could have got going where he didn't. Tyrese Maxey, not a good game, minus 30. Actually, minus 28, but still. 3 for 9 from the field, only took 9 shots. It's not enough. Paul George shot more shots than you. VJ Escombe shot more shots than you. I mean, Tyrese Maxey needs to get going. I get they have good defenders, but Tyrese Maxey has to get going. Just a bad game for them. Bad game for them. Knicks take care of business, easily win. There's not much more to say about this. So, moving on to Pistons Cavs. Interesting. It's not a surprising game necessarily, but it's not what I predicted. I thought Cleveland would actually win game 1, and then I thought Detroit would maybe make adjustments. Not what I expected. James Harden really struggled until the fourth quarter where he was really good. Jalen Duren, I thought defensively Jalen Duren was absolutely amazing in this game. The way they guard the pick and roll versus James Harden, I think is really smart. They have 2 bodies, but Jalen Duren's just such a big body, He can't really pass it to Evan Mobley, who was rolling a lot, or he would pass it super late, and then Jenkins or whoever would go in and intercept the pass. They just made it really hard on James Harden in the pick and roll, and the way they defended the pick and roll, I thought was really smart and really good by them. And Jalen Duren defensively in general, whether it was like helping in rotations or just pick and roll defense, I thought he was awesome. Even though offensively he didn't shoot the ball amazing, he was 4 for 11, but defensively he was spectacular. He was a plus 17, the best on the team. I thought Danish Jenkins, I thought he played really good, 5 for 13 from the field. Didn't shoot efficient, but he just had a bunch of winning plays. Cade Cunningham, obviously he didn't shoot it well either, but I thought he played pretty well. And then Duncan Robinson came in 7 for 12, 5 for 8 from 3, really good. You know what you get from Asar Thompson. Tobias Harris did what he needed to. Defensively, they're absolutely amazing, and offensively, you just get enough while they play this good defensively. They're tough to beat. They're really tough to beat. Plus, the Cavs, I don't know, dude. There's something about the Cavs. They just seem so soft. Like, the Pistons are the complete opposite. The Pistons are not soft at all. They play insanely hard. It looks like they care. And I'm not saying the Cavaliers don't care. I'm saying they look like they don't care a lot of the times. They just look soft. Looks like their effort's not all the way there. They let themselves lose 50-50 balls. Evan Mobley, he just gets bullied by Jalen Duren. Evan Mobley's impact isn't there at all. I thought he played bad. I don't care what his stat line says. I thought Evan Mobley was bad. It's hard because they also rely on James Harden to ISO and just hit ISO step backs all the time. And then when they were running the pick and roll, it wasn't really working because the way Detroit defended it was really well. Donovan Mitchell had a couple moments where he hit some tough shots, but I don't think it's a good Donovan Mitchell game. He's just not doing enough. He shot 9 for 19 from the floor. That's not bad, but again, I just didn't feel like Donovan Mitchell was a superstar that he needs to be. I thought Max Strus played well. Other than that, it's I don't know. No one else really played well to me. I think defensively they were okay, but you got outbeat, and they had a chance to win this game. They were in it. They were in it at the end too with them playing bad. That's why if I was a Cleveland fan, I wouldn't be too worried, because even with how bad I feel like Cleveland played, they were still in it and had easily an opportunity to win the game. They just didn't, and so we'll see what happens in game 2. I don't think you want to go down 2-0 to this Detroit team. I think you need to tie it back up because they're just relentless. So being down 0-2 to a team like this is tough. But offensively, Detroit definitely lacks a lot, actually, offensively. So if Cleveland could just get good performances from their guys or just have a role player step up, I thought Dennis Schroeder stepped up a little bit today, but a role player really step up, and James, Emo, Donovan play really good, they're going to probably win. It's just defensively, Detroit's so good that it's hard to play good, and I don't think the Cavs offense is always the most dynamic and unique. So I don't know. Interesting start to the series. Detroit, good for them. At this point, Detroit, dude, because I think the Knicks probably at this point to most people are probably the favorite to win the finals, or not win the finals, make the finals from the East. But Detroit has a good chance after they almost got eliminated to the Magic. So a huge turnaround. And then Thunder, Lakers. It's hard to talk in depth of the Thunder because we've seen them all last year. All this year, they do the same thing. They defend insanely hard. They're tenacious. They put so much pressure. They have so much talent, like guys like A.J. Mitchell, who I really liked in that draft class, by the way. But A.J. Mitchell, Jared McCain, they just find these guys that just have impact. Chet Holmgren was amazing. Shea didn't even have a good game. This was a bad Shea game, and they win by 20. They win by 20 points. 18 points, but basically 20 points. Defensively, they're too good. They hold them to 90 points. They didn't even need to have a good offensive game because defensively, they're just so good. I don't think the Lakers have a chance. LeBron, 27, 4, and 6, 70% from the field. LeBron was awesome, but Austin Reeves was terrible, but that's a testament to how good OKC guards, man. It's tough. I don't know. I don't know what you do. Hopefully, Jared Vanderbilt gets better. That injury looked a little bit nasty. You need better guard play for the Lakers. Luke Kennard didn't give you anything. Marcus Smart didn't give you anything. Austin Reeves didn't give you anything. Again, it's tough against OKC to do anything. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. OKC's too good, man. There's not much to say about them more. I think OKC's winning in 4 or 5. I don't really see the Lakers being able to do anything. If they had Luka Doncic, it would be a little more interesting, but I still think the Thunder win that. But I mean, yeah, that's really all. I spent so much time on Minnesota and so much less time on everyone else, but I also like Minnesota the best, and every other game wasn't nearly as interesting. Detroit's was actually decently interesting. It was pretty close, but they kind of just like defended them insanely well, which they always do. There's nothing necessarily surprising in the Detroit game. But it was a good game. Hopefully, I hope the games get a little bit better. Like I thought they were good, but Minnesota really carried in that Detroit game. The Thunder game was interesting. I thought it was so fun to watch. The Knicks game was kind of fun to watch, but it was just like a blowout, so that's not always the most fun down the stretch. But yeah, it's gonna be it for game ones. Definitely jump back on here either after game twos, game threes, or some crazy happens. We'll see. But I'm out. Deuces.